Hey guys, Sammy here with another episode of Digital Marketing Therapy Podcast. And today I want to share some tips with you on working from home. Now, I have been working from home for the last 3+ years, and trust me, it's not without its challenges. And now that we're all kind of self-quarantining, staying home, offices are shutting down, we can't go out to eat at restaurants or go meet friends for drinks or whatever, kids aren't in school. It definitely presents a different challenge in the working from home structure. So first off, am very blessed to have a job where I can continue to operate as normal-ish in my business. And I know a lot of folks can't, but I just wanted to share some tips that I've found helpful in general in working from home and how we're kind of setting things up for success for myself, for my kids, for my husband, so that everything goes as smoothly as possible, understanding that there will be hiccups along the way, but this is what we're doing in order to work through this whole time of uncertainty. But before we get to that, I wanted to tell you that this episode is brought to you by your Business Gift Basket giveaway. So I'm participating in a giveaway that is all freebies from people that are in the digital marketing online space. So things from email marketing to social media help. I'm putting in my website redesign workbook for free, which is a $47 value. And I'm super excited about it. And so as you're at home working on your business, kind of figuring out what your next steps are, this is a great opportunity for you to get some free resources all bundled together so that you don't have to go looking all over for them. Pick and choose the things that are going to make the most sense for your business, but head on over to thefirstclick.net/podcast, hit up the show notes for the link and check it out. There's lots of great stuff in there. You can register starting today, I believe, and then get access to all of the freebies starting April 1st. So I hope you'll check it out. Again, thefirstclick.net/podcast. Check out the show notes and get all the goodies and download that workbook and maybe spend some time during this downtime to work on your website, make sure it has what it needs and continue to generate sales. But for now, let's get to it. You're listening to the Digital Marketing Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, Sammy Vidal-Mulhern, and each week I bring you tips from myself and other experts, as well as hot seats with small business owners and entrepreneurs to demystify digital marketing and get you on your way to generating more leads and growing your business. Okay, so working from home has major pluses and major negatives, more positives than negatives in my humble opinion. But I wanted to share with you kind of the 8 things that have helped me manage this on a day-to-day. And like I said, I'm not perfect by any means. Some days are better than others. Some days my patience is better than others, but these are definitely things that help me out during the week. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So number 1 is communication. My husband works out of the house typically. He is home now because of COVID-19, but still it's all about communication. So we tend to chat on Sundays about things that are in my schedule, things that are in his schedule. Usually he takes the kids to school and then I'm part of a carpool as far as what days I bring my kids home from school. That being said, there are always things that change. Sometimes I have a meeting at the school, and so I can help take the kids to school, or we have doctor's appointments or whatever. There's all sorts of things that can happen. So communication is key so that we can keep track of our schedules and keep things moving forward calmly. So like I said, on Sundays, we go through our schedules, we figure out what's going on, who has what, and we kind of put together that rough schedule. I am a huge fan, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this later, but I'm a huge fan of Google Calendar and having multiple calendars. So my kids have a calendar. I have a calendar, so we can really see the big picture of what's going on and it's easy to schedule things, etc. So communication is big. And this is also communication with my kiddos. So now that we are all home, it's very clearly like right now, before I started recording this, it's a conversation to say, hey, mommy's getting ready to record a podcast episode. My door is shut. I think I've shared on previous podcast episodes that I do have a sign that lights up outside my door that says recording in progress. So it's a very easy visual for them to know, okay, we can't go in and interrupt her right now. So just making sure that everybody knows what's going on, communicating throughout the day, communicating weekly schedules. I just can't stress enough that communication is so super important and key. So that's number one. Number two is structure. So as much as you can, try to have some sort of regular routine or things that your family members can expect. And this happens when I'm home alone. This also happens with not getting distracted by household tasks that might need to be done, like the dishes, like the laundry, yada, yada, yada. So in a typical week, I get all my laundry done on the weekends, and I usually shut down around 4:30 and go downstairs, unload the dishwasher, load the dishwasher, and do some dishes so that I can cook dinner and all that good stuff. So that's our typical routine. It's all changing now a little bit, but it is what it is. And so having now our structure is a little bit like, hey, the kids get a certain amount of screen time, and then at 9 o'clock in the morning, they then have to do a certain amount of homework. So my structure is changing a little bit in order to help support them in what they're going to need for the next unforeseeable future, few weeks for sure. So they have a routine, and I can plan my chunks of work time. My husband can plan, now that he's working from home, his chunks of work time. So that structure might change, but it's super important to kind of have that rough plan. Number three is to plan ahead. So it's great for me to know kind of the next couple of days, roughly, this is what our schedule is going to look like. These are my deadlines. These are my husband's deadlines, so that we can plan accordingly, so that we can both get our chunks of time together or individually to get our work done. We can still get the things done around the house, and that we can still make sure that we're passing off the kids back and forth in order to support each other in this process. When we're just in a normal situation, planning ahead, I always plan on Sundays. I pull my entire schedule together. I know what meetings I have. I start to map out when I'm going to get some tasks completed. And that's more important now than ever, so that I can clear my brain and know that I only have to worry about what I have to worry about right now. Like, for example, recording podcasts, and that I have time dedicated later in the week for specific things. And then also really sticking to that schedule to say, okay, well, I have given myself 2 hours to write this blog post. I have to get it done in these 2 hours, and then just leaving it at that, which sometimes means things aren't always 100% perfect, but really perfection is perfection. It's never perfect anyway. So doing the best you can, getting things done. And I think right now a lot about prioritization and doing the things that have to get done, and kind of letting go of the things that aren't really going to move the needle or don't really make the biggest impact. But planning ahead helps with all of that. And so I really think that that's super important. So number 4 for me is to plan breaks. I don't know about you, but sitting at my desk for hours upon hours upon hours at a time is not really the most exciting thing for me. So just depending on my day, like I've said in previous episodes, when I'm on a phone call, I'll walk around to get away from my desk. But I also like to schedule in lunch or a couple breaks during the day, excuse me, to get away from my desk and to kind of clear my brain. So now it's definitely kind of different timing. So my kids, we kind of set up a structure where they can earn screen time by doing different things. So that's doing homework and doing a little bit of cleanup work. So when we're doing those types of activities, we try to do those in clumps. So I'm down with them, helping them with their homework, or helping them set up a puzzle or whatever it is that they're working on, making sure they're reading a book and just kind of helping them through that. And then while they do have their screen time, that's kind of a moment where I can really sit down and focus and get things done. I feel good knowing that they've done some work, that they've had a break, that they've really spent some time working their brains and learning and reading and whatnot. And so then I can be more focused when I am at my desk getting things done. So plan your breaks. And even during normal time when I'm planning breaks, it might be like, okay, well, I know I need to change laundry. So even if the buzzer goes off, I'm just going to wait. I have this dedicated time. I'm going to go do that then. Or Even just something stupid is I'm going to sit down on the couch for 15 minutes and watch a TV show and just decompress for a few minutes. Like, give yourself that break. Because the hard part when you work from home is really separating work home. You can always find more work to do. You can always find more things to get done. And so when I schedule in those breaks, it helps me to kind of make that clear break, not feel guilty about it, just like you would at a regular job. Okay, so number 4 is plan breaks. Number 5 is control your schedule. And I've kind of talked about this a little bit in these other tips that I've got, but this also comes into play with things like the tasks that you're doing. So I'm a big fan of batching, and I kind of set my schedule up accordingly. So the biggest thing for me that has been a struggle has been, when somebody says, hey, can we chat? Can you talk? Can you get on the phone? I feel the need to respond and get back to them immediately, or to call and answer them immediately. Well, that can be super disruptive because maybe I scheduled these next 2 hours to batch podcast episodes, and I can't do that if all of a sudden I'm taking all of these phone calls or doing other tasks that weren't planned. So take control of your schedule. It's okay to schedule something out a couple days or a week, depending on the priority, but you control your schedule. And so you need to make sure that the tasks that you must get done, get done. So if your kids, still nap, or that there's certain times of day while they're home that they're the most self-sufficient, then schedule the things that you can't get interrupted with during those times so that you can get those things done, knocked off your plate, yada, 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 right? I'm not going to schedule tedious tasks in late afternoon because that's when I know that my kids are most likely hitting the wall. They're bored. They need a little bit more attention. So I might schedule things then that are easier for me to kind of multitask with, if that makes sense. So control your schedule. Number 5, and this is I think we're on number 6. Number 6. And this is really mostly just because my kids are home, but snacks, and more snacks. My kids eat all day long. So I like to, again, like I said, number 1, communicate with them on here's where the snacks are. I don't need you coming in and talking to me all day. So having healthy snacks that are available, having fruit that's already washed and ready for them to just grab out of the fridge, having, setting things out on the counter to say, okay, here's the snacks that you can eat today. Like, go for it. That way, they're not bothering you all day long about food, and they can be self-sufficient. They're eating healthy things or whatever you feel comfortable with them having, and you can move on. Some of those simple distractions, right, are unnecessary, and snacks and eating, and I can't even begin to tell you how much my kids eat all day. Okay, so number 7 is setting boundaries. So like I said earlier, when we work from home, it can be hard to really separate work from home life. And I make it a very clear distinction of, unless there's an emergency, I pretty much am shut down during certain times. So it's okay to still have basic office hours. Even on the weekends, when I get emails and text messages from clients, is this an emergency? I have family time right now. I can get back to this on Monday. So setting those expectations with people in your business world are going to be really important. And especially if you're new to working from home, it can feel awkward because yes, I'm at home. I can get this done, but I'm on the couch or playing a board game with my family. I'm not going to do that. And there's a couple of ways that I have done this. So number 1 is I've turned off my email notifications on my phone. So I don't automatically get pinged every time I have a new email, because even when I'm doing stuff with my family, whenever you get those notifications, it's just human nature. Like, you just want to check it out. You want to see what it is. You want to know what's going on. And then if it's something that requires your attention, I feel this twinge of guilt of like not taking care of it right away. So it's just better if I don't. Like, if it's 6 o'clock at night, it can wait until tomorrow. And so that's one way that I can control it. And then I only get email notifications when I check my email. Same goes with just turning do not disturb on your phone. So I have set up all of my family members as favorites on my iPhone. And so if they call me, it will ring even if I have my phone on do not disturb. So if there's an emergency or there's something going on, I can still get information from them. But at the same token, it's not I'm not going to get dinged and pinged by everybody else and their dog during certain times of the day. And it, again, just goes back to number one, which is communication and letting the people in your business world know, like, I'm shutting down at this time. I will not be available. I will get back to you as soon as I can in the morning. And I've seen people put this in their email signature. I check my email at this time and this time, or I shut down at this time, and I will get back to you right away the next day. And that's okay. No matter what your business and industry is. I've had several people say, well, if I don't do this, blah, 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 like I'll lose all this business. And it's all about communication and controlling your boundaries. So I will get back to you at this point. If they understand what that looks like and they feel like they've been heard and they're not getting ignored, they'll wait. They'll be just fine. Okay. So number 8. Number 8. Sorry, I got lost in my number. Number 8, shower. And now this is a simple thing, but if we're at home and we're working from home, now granted, I typically shower and put on sweats, but there's just something about getting up in the morning and still cleaning up, getting in the shower, refreshing yourself, and starting your workday. To me, it just puts me in that mindset and washes kind of the sleep off my face and just gets me going. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't get up and shower right away. I typically get up and work around 5:36, but I like to get in the shower between 7:30 and 8 after I've kind of done my initial morning stuff. Just to kind of be ready for the day, ready to go. And when we're working from home all the time, sometimes it's hard to really just do that. Not hard, but, we just get going. We're just around the house. We're not going to see anybody. And especially right now where we're really not seeing a whole lot of people, it's an easy thing to do. So still shower. And I feel weird that that's my last one because that seems kind of silly, but you could even do it to the point of getting dressed and doing your hair and makeup still, because, we tend to psychologically sit with where we are. And if you're just sitting in sweats and you're not showering and you're just kind of feeling frumpy, you don't have that same energy that goes into your business. So get up, get ready. You can do this, and it will definitely help change your mindset and get you ready to go. Okay, so let me run through these 8 steps or 8 tips again, real quick. So number 1, communicate. Number 2, set structure for yourself and your family. Number 3, plan ahead. Number 4, plan breaks. Number 5, control your schedule. Number 6, snacks, and more snacks. Number 7, set your boundaries. And number 8, get in the shower or take a bath, whatever. Okay, so I hope that this helps, and I hope that it gets you through this whole kind of working from home situation, especially with multiple people in the house and your kids in the house. I would love it if you have any tips to share with me. I'm always looking for recommendations, especially with how to keep my kiddos busy. But if you liked this episode, please make sure you subscribe wherever you listen so you don't miss out on a single one. And I just want to say a big thank you for listening. And if you have any topics that you would love for us to talk about in this podcast, please hit us up on Facebook and Instagram at The First Click Marketing. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. And thank you so much. I will catch you in the next one.